What's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video talking about my ideal Walking Dead team. So, if you could pick 5 characters from The Walking Dead, either comic book or TV series, and put them on a team, which 5 would it be? What would be your ideal Walking Dead survival team? So in terms of survival and, which team would probably get along the best, survive the best, work the best together, and complement each other the best. So not necessarily just your best survivors by themselves, but as a part of a team. Also, too, certain characters are different from the television series or comic book. So when you guys submit your lists, for any of you that are interested in doing so, put in brackets or something comic books or TV series, and I'll also mention which mine are and which one they're from, because they are a little bit different. The storylines are different, and the characters end up being different as well. Based on it. So only 5 characters. That's kind of restrictive. I know there are a lot of characters in both the TV series, especially the comic book, that we've been through a lot of, more of a time span. So there's a lot more characters from the comic book series, and any of them can be used. So 5 restrictions. So that's not very many. Being that you only get 5, you're probably going to have to be pretty close with some of them. But anyway, here's my list for who I think would make the best 5 members of the best or the most ideal zombie survival team. So number 1, I'm going to go with Rick Grimes from the TV series, not from the comic book. The reason why is because Rick from the comic book makes a lot of mistakes, even up till now in the comic book series, with Negan and how he's handled that and the death of almost let a spoiler go there. Death in issue 100 that you guys know about. Those of you who have read it. He just makes some bad judgment calls sometimes, I think, and even to the point where other characters in the comic book series have questioned his decisions. Like Dale in the comic book series was really against him being sort of like a dictator, so to speak, of the group, and wanted to have a few members be nominated to make decisions. Obviously Rick didn't like that, but it was because Rick was making a lot of stupid decisions. So my number 1 would be Rick from the TV series. I think he makes better decisions than the one from the comic book. He's a good leader. He does allow the people in his group to submit their thoughts, sort of, and it does influence his decisions as well, as we got to see near the end of season 2 with the decision about what to do with Randall. Dale sort of influenced him in a way to decide to let Randall go. Obviously, you guys know how that all turned out. But he'd be the leader, so number 1 would be Rick. Number 2 would be Andrea from the comic books, not from the TV series. Andrea from the comic books is a sharpshooter. She's an expert with a sniper rifle or with rifles, so she's obviously extremely good to have in terms of a survival situation, fighting off another group, or even just picking off walkers and doing all that kind of stuff. She is the best of anybody with a gun. So obviously, she would be right in there as one of the best survivors. From the TV series, Andrea, she's kind of, I don't know. Well, first off, she's still developing her gun, her shooting ability, and we don't know to what extent, how good she's going to be yet. We haven't seen that yet too much. Also, she kind of makes some bad relationship decisions. You could say, at least so far, it seems like she's going to. So from the TV series, I'd have to say the comic book version would be better because of her shooting ability. So that's number 2, is Andrea from the comic book series. Number 3 would be Michonne, but it doesn't matter which version because she's basically the same, pretty much, from the TV series or the comic book series. Her character is basically identical. Why would you pick her? Well, number 1, she survived on her own longer than anybody else we know of in the universe, in the Walking Dead universe, I mean. Number 2, she's smart enough to come up with a way to camouflage herself, which probably most other characters, other than Rick, in Guts, for example, when he did it to himself, Mask the Smell, most other characters wouldn't thought of doing that, as well as even getting the walkers to carry her gear, which is pretty intelligent too. So obviously she's smart as well, was a lawyer before, and has her crazy samurai skills. She's not a great shot in terms of what we know, but, her skills with the sword are very impressive, and she's very smart. So we're going to put her in at number 3. Plus, she works well as part of the team. So that's, that's that. Number 4, I've decided to go with, it was between 2 characters. It was between Abraham and Shane. Abraham from the comic books, Shane from the TV series. And I've decided to go with Shane. And the reason why is because I think that if Lori wasn't involved, Rick and Shane would work perfectly. For example, when they take down Daryl when he goes nuts because they tied his brother to a roof and left him there, Merle, and he grabs his big knife and stuff, and they take him down almost right away. Shane obviously is a great shot with a shotgun. Ex-police officer. I think he would get along perfectly with Rick since they used to work together. If it wasn't for Lori, because she's she's an evil bitch. But and it'd be the version from the TV series, not the comic book, because the comic book Shane really sucks. The TV series Shane also influenced Rick to a point where he would help him make better decisions. So with the Randall situation, the right decision for the group and their survival would have been to kill Randall. Shane was willing to do that and had Rick talked into it, but they couldn't go all the way through it, and then Dale made him sway back to the other way. So he kind of is good to have in that situation because he does kind of question Rick sometimes to make better decisions, as well as, he does a lot of things with Rick that they just work well as a pair together if it wasn't for Lori. So I'll go with Shane. Abraham would be good too, but because he's kind of beefy and he's good shot with his M16 and everything, and he's tough, so he could survive on his own as well too. And he would do what it takes too, but Shane has proven from the TV series anyway to be really cruel when it comes to other people, and that would offset the group pretty well because the others are not always like that. They're sometimes too nice. So I think that would be the reason why I would go with him. Number 5 is going to be Daryl, of course, from the TV series. They have to be. I mean, he's one of the best survivors in all of the Walking Dead universe, TV series and comic book. Still, obviously, hasn't appeared in the comic books, but is in the TV series. And obviously, not needing ammunition really from his bow, so that helps quite a bit. Also, he's really tough. He's good against other people, too, under pressure. He's got amazing tracking skills, tracking ability. And, him and Michonne, I think, would work together really, really well. The two of them would just be add a lot of power to your team to be able to take out walkers, to be able to stand and fight, and to be able to fight against other people. Plus, Daryl can go off on his own as well, too, so he's kind of a runner also. I was thinking about putting Glenn in the group, but he got inched out by both Daryl and Michonne because they could serve the same function as him, being runners. Especially, both of them, because they can both do really well on their own, and also they're way tougher. They handle walkers way easier than Glenn does. Daryl can shoot him down with his crossbow really easily. Michonne can hack him up really easily with her sword, and so that's why I went with them. So my ideal zombie survival team for the Walking Dead universe would be Rick, Andrea. So Rick from the TV series, Andrea from the comic books, Michonne from either, doesn't matter. Shane from the TV series, and Daryl, of course, from the TV series. So that's my thoughts on it. That would be my top 5 for the best Survivor team that you could possibly put together with the characters. Some other ones that I was thinking about going with. Tyrese, he's tough, but he's not a good shot. He's really bad with firearms. So that takes him out right away. Negan would be okay, but he would fight with Rick, and he's kind of crazy, and he'd probably try to take over the group. And he'd probably get on Shane's nerves if he was on there too, and one of them would end up dead probably. I don't think it would work well together. Let's see, who else did I have? The governor, he wouldn't work with Rick or Shane on the same team, I don't think. I think he'd end up, one of them would end up killing the other. And Merle also, same thing. He would end up either being killed or, something would happen with him too, so he wouldn't work well as a team either. So that's my team. Let me know what you guys think, what your team would be. Post a video response if you like, or just put it in the comments below. I know a lot of people don't like making videos, just how it is, so that's cool. No problem with that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any more video suggestions, please write them in the comments. Can't get enough Walking Dead. That's it for this video. It's Trev. Same peace, guys. See you for the next one.